Alright, so hey guys, this is Tinchi here, and I wanted to make a video on Apex Legends console bunny hopping layout, button layout. And I've seen a lot of videos, and a lot of people have some interesting settings for how to bunny hop on console. And I think the best one, in my opinion, so that you're not playing too much, like you're not taking all your fingers off like the other buttons, because you need access to all the buttons when you're playing, right? Is the ninja style. I think ninja button layout is pretty much the best. There's a couple of reasons. Like why would I pick ninja button layout? Why? Well, for one, if you play on default, here's what happens. Also, before we jump into all this, make sure your crouch button is set to hold. Make sure it's set to hold, or else you cannot bunny hop. You have to be able to hold while jumping. Hold crouch while jumping in order to bunny hop. So, alright, back to the button layout. So, if you're on default, your default layout jump is X. Now, this is kind of bad, because by default, when you're playing on default, you jump and you take your thumb off the analog. That's not good. That's already not good, because in a shooter you need to be able to like immediately, like you would take your thumb off the analog and hit X. That's already a disadvantage, because you want maximum like accuracy and movement when you're being evasive, right? So that's one bad thing. One good thing about playing on default is that you can hit inner analog for melee. So if you need to like move around and hit somebody and be accurate, you can. And there's a little bit of a magnetism when it comes to the punch. It like homes in on them a little bit. Yeah, so I think that's like having inner analog melee, pretty good advantage. R1 being a ping, pretty good because you can aim it, but you don't have to be really accurate with pings in general. Another thing, so button layout, tactical ability. I personally am like, there's certain characters that benefit from tactical ability being on L1. For example, Pathfinder. Pathfinder really needs to be accurate when it comes to using tactical ability. So having it on L1 while using the analog, pretty good. I think that's good. The thing is that a majority of the cast doesn't need to aim their tactical ability. Maybe like Bangalore and Pathfinder are the only ones. So they're an exception to this rule, with the tactical button being on the triggers. So I came down to button puncher. Why button puncher? Why did I consider button puncher? So the main difference between default and button puncher, as you can see, is the crouch. Crouch being inner analog. Why is this good? If you want to evade your opponent's bullets and strafe correctly, you want to be able to aim while crouching and strafing, right? This helps evade situations so much, right? Crouching, really important. And you're not taking your thumb off the buttons here, see? So look, I can crouch, not pressing a button, right? So I for a while I thought this was really good, and then I came to the realization it might not actually be as good, or maybe the best for me if I did that, because if we look at the layout again, button puncher has X to jump. Now I said earlier X to jump is a disadvantage, so like and also melee, when it is a button, you take your thumb off the analog. That's not good. And you lose accuracy, because you would have to take your thumb off the analog in order to hit the melee. So when you're in a close situation and you have a person knocked and knocked down, and you want to finish them off, and they're moving around, and you start whiffing your attack, that's not good. And then there's another guy coming, his teammates coming to shoot you in the head, and then boom, You lose the round, squad over, back to the lobby, right? It's not good. So then I was like, button puncher may not be that good. Then I saw evolved, and I was like, whoa, evolved might actually be really good. But then because L1 being jump, you're never taking your thumb off the buttons, right? So L1 being jump here, just to show you guys, L1 being jump here, look, I can use the analog and then inner analog. You never have to go here. But problem, again, the melee not being accurate. I don't like that at all. So then I came to the final realization and I hit ninja. Ninja might be the best one because crouch is on R1, jump is on L1, melee is on inner analog, which I said earlier on default, which is a great advantage because it's homing and you can aim it. And pings, they're not really that important for you to like. Even if you aim and mash X, you double tap X, you'll get an enemy ping, right? And if you tap X, you only need to tap for pings usually. You don't really need to abuse pings all the time during the middle of battle. Only to like show where something is going. It's not really necessary for downing the opponent. But I think this control setting is the best for bunny hopping as well because it takes no execution on the controller. So if you have your hands like this, you have index fingers on the top triggers and middle fingers on your triggers, right? So let's do bunny hopping with the triggers, right? Let's see how it goes. So let's run, right? That's melee is now my inner analog. So now you have to use this, right? So run, slide, and you gotta hold it, right? Run, slide, jump, 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 jump. Messed that up a little bit there. There you go. That's your jump. That's your bunny hopping right there. Now this may take a little while to get used to because you're so used to. And again, this is another set of the bunny hopping right there. So this may take a while because you're so used to your old control setting. But once you get used to this, I think this will be more optimal because with this, you're not taking your thumb off the analog. You have melee and the inner analog, and when you're in the middle of battle and you need to crouch and shoot, you have everything right at your fingertips. There's no like awkwardness, you know, and I feel like that's really important. Tactical ability being advantages and disadvantages. Like I mentioned earlier, Pathfinder and Bangalore will probably be the main ones that take a hit there with the control settings, but you use them so sparingly and they have cooldown time, I don't think it would be that bad. So I definitely think this is a better way, especially if you want to do bunny hopping. This is the way to go. Now let's show it with healing, right? Now when you do this with healing, one thing to keep note, inner left analog is run, right? So if you do jump, if you hit inner analog again, the left inner analog to run, the bunny hop will, the healing will stop. And the whole point of this is for you to slide, jump, heal, tap up in the air,
just a second.
Right?
1 second.
And then jump as that happens. Kind of like that, right? So let's try and perform like a clean version of it, okay? So run, slide up, up.
Patching myself up a bit.
Oh, messed up there. Sorry. One more time, last attempt.
Just a second. 1 second.
Lost momentum there. So I hit the inner analog there. So it does take some time.
Catching myself up a bit.
But once you get the hang of it, I promise you, this is like definitely.
Just a sec. 1 second.
There you go. And look how far you got. You know, like I think this is like the best way to go. You know, you don't lose finger placement. The worst you'll get is holding up on the D-pad to switch your nades or for grenades. I mean, for healing items. But having your triggers as dedicated movement options, and these as circle and X as your just ways to use sparingly is, I feel, a better way to play on console versus playing the way you have it on default or button puncher. So I recommend you give this a shot. It may take a while to get used to since you're so used to your other controller settings,
as well as the weapon you hold.
but I highly recommend this.
The field is full of choices. Remember, you can carry only 2 weapons. To equip
So
another
yeah,
weapon,
that
you must
concludes
swap
it.
out the one you are holding.
Yeah, Ninja
Choose your new weapon.
button layout. Middle fingers on the bottom triggers, index on here, and having your control switch from toggle to hold. It's really important. And yeah, that concludes it. I think that's the better way for me. I feel that is more optimal for using bunny hopping on console. Alright, this is Tinchy. See you guys later.